welded in so it's rigid. So we got to do a little bit of playing. Another live stream that was unannounced, just working on the car, and like to have everyone join along. So let's get started, shall we? I used my metal brake and used a vise, like a hammer and dolly, and bent this edge. This edge is going to go on the inside here, like this, to make this more rigid. As you can see, it bends a little bit. So we got to get that a little bit more solid. So to do that, we got to feed this in. Then we'll be welding along the edge of it. I'm hoping I can get this in like this. There we go. Getting it. Here's going to be a little bit of trouble. Oh, dropped in there now. Well, that's going to be a problem. I don't think there's enough room for me to get my hand on there, so we will pop the hood and start beating it through again. Hopefully you can see all this. If you're new to the chat, click one below. I got one person watching. Thanks for coming on. Tell me where you're from. Okay, so we got to be able to close this in here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it. I'm going to tack it on one side so that we can keep it in place, and then we'll bend everything where it needs to be. I think that will work. If I do this, I miss there. If I do that like so, I think I can wedge this. This. Okay, that's going to be the challenge. Not exactly the tooling that we really want, but that's how we're going to do it. We got two people here. Click on one in the comments if you've never been here before, and tell me where you're from. I'm going to be mostly working here, as opposed to hanging out and chat as much as I'd like, but I'm trying to get this hood finalized, because once I get the hood body lines finalized, then we can put the covers on the headlights, and that should get us further along. Okay, so if that's the plan, I should be able to bend this down, close the hood, then tack weld that into place. So, hey, Brazil's here. Hello, Brazil. And Privyet, I see what looks like Cyrillic language, somebody's name in Cyrillic, and I cannot read or write Cyrillic or understand most of it, but I can say a few things in Russian or Belarusian, but I don't want to be offensive to anyone. But hello, welcome aboard. Alexander, nice to meet you, sir. Thank you so much for coming on. This is my Lamborghini project that I am building for my midlife crisis. So I got the hood kind of latched down. This is where it's going to get tricky, because I gotta pull up on this edge and tack weld this into place and have enough room to do all that. So I'm hoping if I can get this where I want it to be, that can start. Actually, it's starting to look pretty good right there. I'm just going to run some tack weld on there to hold the shape, and then I'll come back to chat and say hello to everyone again. If you're new in chat, put a 1 and tell me where you're watching from. I like meeting people from around the world. I got a few few subscribers in Sweden and in England, all over the world. And this is the fun of YouTube that I like, is getting to meet people from around the world. So I'm gonna put a couple tacks in here and we'll work it. Ow, ow, that hurts. That went down my shoe. Not wearing a proper well, the plan is, other than burning my foot, the plan is to work this metal edge down and tack weld it into place in such a way that the hood holds the shape that I want it to. We will have to put some hood bumpers in there. This looks all right, but I got to get some wedges. I think my lockout kit, I thought I had a lockout kit, maybe I don't. I think I gave it to my buddy Mark. Hey, you're from Ukraine. All right, welcome Ukraine. And Brazil. We got Ukraine and Brazil in the house. Thanks for joining us. I'm working on my custom-made Lamborghini-esque. I'm welding the sheet metal in the hood to make the hood rigid and to get these body lines correct for my midlife crisis. So, anyone guess what that car is? And I didn't copy a regular Lamborghini. I kind of came up with my own design based off of some AI pictures. I put some pictures of the car and how I roughed it in, and then AI kind of drew the body lines for me, and I copied that. And I got a lot of the build. Toyota is the first guess. Toyota is the first guess. I do have some Toyota content on my channel, but it is not a Toyota. So, good guess, but I can tell you this. I'm going to give you 2 hints. Ready? It's a V8, and it was a fleet car. That's your clues. So, I'm going to get some wedges to wedge the hood a little bit, and then I'm going to start welding down. Lexus? Definitely not. Definitely not a Lexus. All right. So, give me a second. We gotta get the gotta get some things to hold things in place. I'm hoping this dolly is gonna wedge the hood like I am hoping it will, because I gotta wedge this dolly. I don't know if you can see the shape of that in the hood to get the shape I want. Taco, you must have been here before, because it is a retired police car. It is a ex-Buffalo police car, a Crown Victoria that I shortened the wheelbase on between the frame rails. So that's what we're turning this into. It's a V8. I mounted, it's a V8 Crown Victoria P71, ex-Buffalo police car. I twin turboed it, although the turbos are hooked up to the exhaust. The boost is not run yet. It's got oil feed to it. I have a charge air cooler in the back, and everything with the turbos is in the back to, you know, give you that rear engine look, although the engine is under the hood. And I'll show you that if you guys want. But like I said, I'm trying to, the trick here is I'm trying to get the body lines to work. And in order to do that, I gotta wedge different things. See, like that, I think, looking at this body line right here, that's actually pretty good. If I can maintain that. The problem is, I have to be able to put this inwards and tack that in place. And this is where it gets tricky because I can't. I should have made some wooden blocks for that. That works actually right there. I'm going to do that and maintain this. This right here has to come upwards. So if we can get the arch that I need right there, but I have to maintain that line and tack that in place. So I got an idea. I'm going to get another big screwdriver so I can pry it and tack weld it, and we'll work our way down that line. And hopefully it does what I think it should. Because like everything in this car, no rules, just compromises. We've had some good views the last couple times I've worked on this in a live stream. I know it's kind of random. We had people from around the world. I'm checking on a... Oh, Too Cool. So Too Cool guessed correctly. It's not a Celica, it's a Ford Crown Vic. It does look like... Actually, you know what I'm using for the taillights, hopefully, is a set of Lambo Lambo-style taillights from a Camaro. No, I'm not Marty. And there's no flux capacitor yet. But we do have some wild stuff going on. We got 14 people in chat. We got Ukraine in the house. We got Brazil in the house. Where's everyone else from? Oh, thanks for joining. Billbong, I will show you the whole car. Let me finish doing this. Stick around. I do have the car on the channel too. There's a video of how it got to this point that I, from a Ford Crown Victoria to a Super, and my wedges fell out. So let's get to work, as they say. So we're gonna wedge this in here again. This is where it gets really tricky, because I have to, it's almost like I need a third set of hands, you know what I'm saying? If I get this down far enough, like that, actually this might be a replacement for this right here. Hopefully that doesn't fall on my foot, because that would hurt. Actually, I like that. That body line looks pretty good right there. If we can maintain it. I almost want to go down a little further with this. Well, that didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to. So it's low right here. See, I want this arch to go like this more along this line, and we're having trouble getting that to line up exactly. Maybe if I wedge it in here, like that. I like it anyway here. Let me see if I can. I need like 4 hands. Let's just try tacking it in here. Let's see what happens. Oh, as you can't see the welding. Now, if I take this and I bend it in towards the center, can we? What I don't like is that. I mean, that might require some heavy body filler, but it is what it is, you know? My work setup wasn't exactly working the best. It didn't work at all, actually. So that's a problem. All right, we're going to try something different. I'm gonna raise the hood, and then we'll try creating the arch that I'm looking for, and then weld it down. I will transport it to you, with Massachusetts. Right on, I'll check it out. Billabong. J-Mail Jones said hello, hello, sir. Or Jamal Jones, I'm sorry. Brandon Ziegler, what are we working on? This is my Lamborghini project. This is what happens when you get old and you want a Lamborghini, but can't afford one. So, what we're doing is we're making our own Lamborghini-esque car. So, at any rate, I'm trying to get the hood edges in so that when the hood is where it needs to be, we can finalize the body lines, and I'm having a little bit of trouble right now. Actually, what we're going to do is this. I'm not going to raise the hood, I'm just going to start prying. There just isn't a good way. Alright, let's try that for a setup. Now I got that exposed, I can probably tack this along here. And then we'll just have to compromise on the lineup. If I get this close to here, well, that's sunk into it, so let me start welding down this edge. I'm just gonna keep spot welding that down. Are you guys able to see that? I may have twisted that the wrong way. We got 6 people still watching. Thanks for watching. Comment down below if you're first time here. Brandon Ziegler, thank you. Jamal said I'm just, and he's the #1 commenter. Comment down below, where are you guys from? I had Brazil in the house, I had Ukraine in the house earlier. I'm in Buffalo, New York, so that tells you. It's snowing out, I'll show you that too. Already snowed. Of course it's snowing, right? Now I'm gonna grab my body hammer and start hammering that in place a little bit. That way I don't have to weld a giant gap. I think this part right here of the weld is going to be the critical part to making that more rigid. So we got Oregon in the house. Thanks for joining us, Danny. Oregon, Texas, Michigan. Wow, we got it all over the world. I had Brazil, we had Ukraine. Sometimes we get as far as Australia, New Zealand, into Africa. Get to talk with all you fine folks from around the world, and I like that part of YouTube. That's the part of YouTube that's cool, in my opinion. What's your thoughts? I know I'm doing, so I got that kind of where I wanted it. Now we're going to tack weld this here. So here's the problem. I painted this so that it wouldn't rust, just with spray paint. Obviously it's got to be all ground down and sanded out, but I'm starting to paint on fire. So I got to go get my wire brush so we can clean up the paint as it's burning so that we can make it a good weld. Wondering if I should bring the wire brush on the drill. Bear with me. I'm getting the wire wheel brush on my drill, which should clean that a little better. Actually, I got just the thing. I got a paint stripper here. Oh, what can I say? It's not perfect, but it'll do. It's just the way it is. I got this right here, so I can take the paint off where I'm welding. Because let's continue with this welding. I can tell when I get into the paint because it starts Now, I wouldn't consider myself much of a welder, but we're sticking two pieces of metal together, and that's just the way it is. We got Oregon. This is my Lamborghini project. It's not for the faint of heart. So, if you like do-it-yourself projects, then this is the right place for you. If you don't, well, thanks for watching and thanks for stopping in. But we had Brazil in the house. We had Ukraine in the house. Texas, Michigan. Who'd I miss? Oregon? So comment down below. First time here, hit a 1. Tell me where you're at. Let's see, we got who's the top in comments right now? It won't let me do it. We got Jamel Jones is number 1. Brandon Ziegler is number 2. Alexander is number 3. David Petrie is number 4, and then a user with a number is number 5. That typically is like a European address. Let me get out of this if I can. There we go. So, oh, Richfield, North Carolina. Welcome, North Carolina. That's a very beautiful state. We went through there about a year and a half ago. We drove through Carolina on our way to Orlando. So I want to go to Orlando again this spring, because they got that Artemis rocket launching, and I thought that would be cool to see. You know, I missed a space shuttle launch as a kid because they scrubbed the launch, and something on my bucket list that I like to do. So those of you just joining us, I bent on my metal brake edge. You can kind of see the corner of it to strengthen the hood here. I got to box in the underneath of it to give it rigidity, and then get our body lines right. I got to do the same thing on this edge so that we have 2 body lines. I got hidden hood hinges, we're calling them, and basically clubus pins. And welding this down, this is all going to get ground out, heavy body filler put in it, and then hopefully it'll start looking much more like a supercar should, shall we say. But we got a ways to go. I thank everyone for stopping in. We've had quite a few. The subscriber count's been growing. We got over 6 million views now on YouTube. Not from just this, but other stuff that I post. So it's actually pretty amazing. Lots of heat, and we'll have to grind all that down and use heavy filler on it, but that's the way that this goes. So probably have 5 pounds of MIG wire in this hood when we're done. Now I'm getting the rigidity on this side of the hood by building in the inner structure, and hopefully I have much of the arch, but I think we're going to have some filler work to do to make it look as even as possible. Or we'll just be bending it to make it as close as possible. So, as we go down this edge, I don't know, I think it's getting better. If you're asking why I'm using the wire brush right after welding, because I'm banking on the heat to lift the paint that I painted to keep this from rusting because it was bare sheet metal. So to get the cleanest weld and strongest weld possible, I am tacking it, welding it, tacking it, welding it, and then we'll lift this hood up again and see where we're at. Well, that's a significant weld. Not that I want to fill this all in with MIG wire. We'll use heavy duty body filler for it, but it smells something burning. Hopefully they're not on fire. There we go. All right, checking in on the comments. For those of you here and who's joined us this morning, I appreciate you. Oh, nice. You're an hour north of Charlotte. Highway 49 North. We stayed in Charlotte on our way to Orlando, and I forgot the hotel we stayed at, but we had a wonderful dinner. They had like a sous chef and everything. It was cool. Have to hop off. Take care. Hey, thanks for coming in. Please like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and you know, you can follow this build along if you're into this stuff. Take care, Danny. Bill Bong. Oh, thanks for subbing. I appreciate that. We got 13 people in here. We already got 15 likes. We had a live stream 2 nights ago. We had almost 4,000 people come in and out, and over 50 likes, and that helps a lot, and I really appreciate it. Doesn't cost anything but a double tap on the screen, and when you do that, it helps the cause, so I appreciate that. We're going to continue on welding this piece in down here. I don't know if you can see it, but I got a bent piece of steel that's going to give the hood rigidity through the hood latch, I'll call it, and we're trying to get this all framed in, this side and the other side, and then I'll do some cross bracing to give the hood some rigidity, like a stock hood, so to speak. But obviously, there's nothing stock about this thing, so we now can bend. Yeah, I like it there. We're gonna bend it right there and tack that, and we'll work our way down here. Hope you got your eye protection on. Just kidding. Ultraviolet light doesn't come through the screen, but I had the sparks flying at the camera the other day, and that tended to bring in the viewership, so appreciate that. Hello, John Picard. Where are you from? Any relation to Luke? That's a joke, of course. I don't know any Picards, but... So as we get like the 5 pounds of MIG wire on this hood edge, it will start, hopefully, getting stronger every weld. Well, hey, you want to see what's... I don't know if I can do this with the camera. And the window's pretty dirty because of all the grinding I've been doing, but take a look at it outside. You see that white stuff? I just pretend that's sand here in Buffalo. But we got more snow, and I'm sick of the snow this year. It is what it is, though. So as we're grinding and welding when it's snowing out, that's what we do. So either I'm missing a lot of the comments or nobody's commenting. So please comment where you're from, say hello. Thumbs up doesn't cost you anything but a double tap on your screen if you're watching on your phone. That helps the channel quite a bit. Ooh, you know what I should have thought of? Oh, California's in the house. Tell me you're in Orange County. I've been there twice. It's beautiful. I love Orange County, California. Except for the traffic, the cost of things. The weather is absolutely beautiful. Both times I've been there and different times of the year, it's been amazing. It has been amazing. Massachusetts is in the house. Hey, Gary, how are you, sir? Gary Lucas is here. You know, I should have tagged. There is a, right now, the local story is, because this is an ex-Buffalo police car. There is a Buffalo police officer who is accused of killing his girlfriend or wife, and that's been all over the news. I wonder if he ever patrolled in this car. I gotta ask I got two buddies that are retired from the Buffalo Police Department, and they knew the guy that's accused and worked with them, and I wonder if he worked in the district. My buddy knew what district this came from by the number on the car. And anyways, you can see that in the build video that I had. Toyota RAV4 into something cool. It's 2004. Toyota RAV4s are solid vehicles. There's a lot of things that you could do. I know of guys making like utes out of them, like pickup truck kind of thing. You could do something like that. Maybe a zombie apocalypse kind of car. Toyotas are pretty. I got one Toyota in the driveway. That is a Toyota Solera. That's on the channel. I got. My buddy was gonna junk it for somebody and saved it from the junkyard. Fixed the engine. That skipped timing because nobody changed the timing belt. So, at any rate, that's what we're up to. We're gonna continue welding here, and I'll check back in with you. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do a lot of grinding after this. Sorry I don't have the grinder out right now. The sparks do good to draw a crowd. There's people watching, you'll see the sparks. The welding does too, though. So. I got my garage heater on and the fan is blowing right where I'm welding, which is messing with my shielding gas for sure. Don't want to necessarily splatter weld, you know, although we're still doing that. Splatter welding is fun. I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll work, I think. It's what they say, good enough for government work. Problem is I don't know when to stop. Because every weld I put on here, I gotta take down far enough that I can get filler on it. Ooh, we got some new comments. New comments. Thought about trying to make it a half convertible, like like a mini truck kind of. First generation. Oh, like a removable roof. No ventilator, no spark protection. Man, you're about to be sent to the amber lamps. Well, could be, but. You know, we live life on the edge here. I got gloves on. I got, you know, my glasses on. Does that count for anything? We're just MIG welding. We're not, no heavy dutiness here. No heavy chemicals or anything. So. So. I mean, that weld's pretty rough, but it'll work. I don't like that. Now we got a whole bead to get on there. Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining us. I am welding a Lambo together. This is an ex-Buffalo police car, Crown Vic, that I shortened the frame on. It is a homemade Lambo of sorts. It is not copied off of a Lamborghini model. I did not want to copy a Lamborghini model. I wanted to look like a Lamborghini, and the name of it is a Terero Vittoria. And in Lamborghini lore, for those who don't know, Lamborghinis are named after winning bulls, because Lamborghini liked bullfighting. I'm not for it, but it is what it is. Not getting into that conversation, but this Crown Victoria, ex-Buffalo police car, the Terero is bullfighting. So basically after the Raging Bull, which is the emblem for a Lamborghini, and bullfighting Vittoria, which is the, I guess, the Spanish way to say Victoria. So Victoria is a very classy name, and I like that stuff. Speaking of Lamborghini, the Lambo lady just posted, so I tagged her in some of this stuff. She doesn't really respond too much, but that's okay. Someday, I invited her on a live stream, like an interview style, and she's like, for what? Oh, for nothing, I guess. Just because. I did have some cool people on, a bunch of cool people on my live stream. The biggest one being Lake Speed Jr., the motor oil geek. He's got a lot of good content. We had a big debate in chat about 37 Oldsmobile engine I got running after 55 years of it sitting. It sat since 1969, and I got it running about a year and a half ago. And the conversation came up when I was going to use synthetic oil. The guys are like, "You're going to ruin that engine." I'm like, this engine sat for 55 years in a barn, essentially, and it hasn't run. And then it's whatever. But we got into that, and Lake Speed came and added his 2 cents in that conversation. It's a good interview if you look at that online. So that's a side note. He's been doing more live streaming too. So, and before him coming on, I was getting 7,000 views a live stream. Now we're into the thousands. We got We got 3,800 the other night, 2 nights ago. So we're getting the numbers. We got 25 people here watching, and I appreciate all of you. Put a 1 in the chat if you've never been here before. And this is my midlife crisis Lamborghini project that we're welding the hood edge on. You know? This isn't for everyone. Not everyone gets it, but some of you do. Hopefully you can appreciate it. You know what it was like when I could see? It was a lot better. Because I can't see anymore. It sucks getting old. Oh, that's not too bad. For everything else, they make body filler. So we're going to continue on this edge. Then we'll have one piece to tie in from here to here. We'll tie that in, and then this edge of the hood will be done. And then we got to work our way around. So this has got the edge lip on it. Up to here has the edge lip. This was oil canning before. Hopefully by what we just did, we have enough strength. I got to reinforce down in the bottom corner yet, but we'll get there. All right, now, this is where we start. What I don't like. Well, let's just say, not my proudest weld there, but it's moving closer to where we got to be. Can't wait till we get into priming this with primer surfacer. I'm going to have my neighbor, who's a body guy, tint the primer so it primes in like this color, and then we'll be able to see kind of what it's going to look like in rough form. It'll almost look like a matte finish, like it's a wrap, you know? So now we can weld down this line more. There we go. That's the kind of weld that I like to burn in there. That got some good penetration into the wire, which in turn should give it some strength. I'm not going to lie, the welds are pretty ugly, but they are welds. Wow, we almost have 30 people here. 23 likes. Thanks for the likes. Those are free. I appreciate every one of those free likes. And we got Caffeine Man 5. He's new. And No Thoth, I think I'm saying that right. He's got a number 2 in the chat, so I'm wondering if he's a sub, because I don't recognize that name. Last Campaign 67, bro built a McLaren from scratch in his garage. So I copied a guy who built a Lamborghini Reventon out of a Mitsubishi Eclipse I was somewhere in Asia, and I used some of the techniques he was using with the 1/4-inch wire for all the bends I was trying to get, and then cut sheet metal out and tacking it, welding it, and then body filling. So we have a lot of grinding and body filling to do. Daniel Nolly, hello? And yes, my wife knows. She would not let me buy a real Lamborghini. It was not in the family budget. I was going to buy a Lamborghini wrecked, but even a wrecked Lamborghini is like 30K. And then by the time you add up all the parts, you might as well just buy a used one. So that's my opinion. Then you won't have a wrecked title. We got 28 people watching, 26 likes. Thank you for those. If we can get up to 50 likes today, that would be amazing. We're 52 minutes in. I'm going to go as long as it takes to get this edge of the hood done. And I'll show you the edge of the hood here pretty soon as I'm grinding and welding along here. So we just got a little bit more. I mean, not the proudest welds, but nothing a little body filler can't fill in, right? Heavy grinding is going to be necessary in that spot, but that's all right. That's why they make good when you're not a welder. Should do a video on the story on my snap-on MIG welder that I've had for 30 some years. That was a good deal. That was a good deal. It's ugly, no doubt. Alrighty. I'm gonna tack a few more spots, and then we're gonna lift the hood. You can see what the hood looks like underneath and see if it still functions. Because we got some grinding to do to make that work out, I think. But we're all right. Figure it out. That looks pretty good. And actually, well, up that high it looks good. It doesn't look good there. But we're adjusting. We're making it happen. We're roughing it in. We're roughing it, all right. I gotta stop. I can't put, because all that extra weld I'll have to grind off. So we got 22 people watching, 31 likes. Thanks for the likes. Let me see, we got Chris Hill. Very talented, my man. Well, I appreciate that. I would say I know enough to be dangerous. I'm just having fun. This is my midlife crisis project. So I'm going to take this out. So I think we got this close enough for government work. Here it's a little off. We'll have to do some adjusting, but that's all right. And then I'll show you what we got here. Let me, I'm going to pop the hood so you can kind of see what I'm up to. Because at this angle, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. But I just got the hood latch working. I had to move it back because of the way that it is, right? So now, open the hood. Should be able to get an idea. I'm hoping it doesn't oil can anymore, and it didn't, so that's good. So we already got one thing solved, in my opinion. So, well, we can work that hood out in the section as we go. It's definitely, I can see it getting more structurally sound. Definitely going to have to do some manipulating in this area here because I see a little bit of an indent. But here is good. Here we'll have to bend it up, which won't be the end of the world. All right, what we're going to do now. Awesome. All right, I'm going to have to reconnect the ground on this because I knocked the ground off, but we got 20, oh, we had 26 people watching, now we're down to 14. See the alternator V of the engine. Yeah, the alternator is the stock Ford Crown Vic alternator. It should be high output because it is a 4.6. Oh, Danny Boy is here. I'm not even paying attention. We got OG in the house. This is a Crown Vic, Danny Boy. This is my Lamborghini project. So this is a ex-Buffalo police car, Crown Victoria. I forget the number, it was like 556, 552, something like that. So, that's that. Now, I knocked the ground off my welder, so we'll put the ground back on so we have a way to weld. And then we'll tidy up that edge. And then we got to make another piece to tie that. This way we go. Hopefully that doesn't screw us up. Don't want to break the windshield. It is the factory glass from the Crown Vic, but right now I need to get this in order. So I'm hoping what I just did didn't mess us up. Bending that lip around so that the body line is pretty square. I think we're going to go with it. That's why they make a grinder and a welder and all that. The other thing is this. You have to get a dead blow. It's got a little indent here. This spot's low, I can see it. This spot is low, and we got to bring this up higher. So it makes dead blow, I guess. And we just put this hood edge on. Just adjusting it a little bit. do, got an idea. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'd like to get the hood kind of closed on something straight and more solid like this. There we go. That's what I want to do right there. Now, that may have gotten rid of my little power cars. Now I can weld that seam, and hopefully, with doing that, it'll be more in line with the fender. Don't forget, we got a lot of grinding and body filling to do, but got to get it close enough for government work, as they say. See, I got my back to you. I don't know if you can see this. I'm kind of in a tight spot here, but my oil can body line came out. That's good. Oh man. Hold on, I gotta close that. I gotta close that gap a little bit. Nothing like this body hammer right here to do the job. Good enough for government work. Well now, you got plenty of weld on there. Smell plastic burning, that's never a good sign. Okay, let's check in on everyone here. We got 17 people watching, 33 likes. Thank you for those. Jamie Hernandez, this is my Lamborghini project. It's not a real Lamborghini. It is an ex-Buffalo police car, Crown Victoria, that I rebodied. I cut the windshield at the base, at the firewall, brought the windshield forward and tilted it down at 20-degree angle to match an Aventador. I am not copying any particular Lamborghini model. I wanted it to look like a Lamborghini so that if somebody saw it, either if they're a Lamborghini aficionado, they thought it was a new Lamborghini model or one they were not familiar with, and most people would not know what it is anyways. So I don't know if you can see that. I welded this in, the hood edge, to give the hood some lateral support. And eventually the hood's got to come off. I got to box in the underside of it to give it some more rigidity. And we got to weld a lip on the fender to match and get the body work around the headlights done so that so now we got the hood in some semblance of order, hopefully. A little worried by that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hood doesn't latch now. That's a problem. But either the hood latch didn't go back, let's check that. Maybe the cable's still. That's what it was. Cable was stuck. That's why it wasn't latching. Now, Houston, we have a problem. So, or do we? I don't know. Maybe we. Question is this: can we bring this up? Yeah, we can actually. That might be the. That might be what we do. Because our fitting isn't great right now. It's not horrible, but it's not great. I got a little bit of a, I almost like to bend that down a little bit. I don't know if it's going to work though. Plus we're going to oil can this again, which is, all right. Something that's got to be worked out anyway, so. Well, so, wow, we got 44 people here. Thanks for coming on board. Put a 1 in chat if you've never been here before. Danny Boyd, I'm sorry I haven't been, yeah, full frame and wheelbase. I did cut about 10 inches out of the wheelbase, 9 inches or something, whatever it was. It's in the video that I made. In between the wheelbase where the rear frame hoops are welded onto the square tubing or rectangular tubing frame channels, I cut the factory welds and then I marked it out and I cut out the frame and then I jigged it back together so that it was square as possible in a garage. And then I had the drive shaft shortened, and that's how we got to this point. So this is a 2005, but it is my midlife crisis Lamborghini project. Thank you, Raul Villegas. Danny Boy, 96. Oh yeah, I was going to do a Mustang, and my buddy talked me on it. He's like, how are you going to get any strength in the car when you cut the unibody all apart? And I'm like, ooh, good point. I said, well, what full frame vehicle with a rear wheel drive V8 could I use? And he's like, there's only one, the Ford Crown Vic. And I found, he sent me a video where they made a General Lee out of one for the Dukes Fest. And I took that and I'm like, yeah, that's the chassis I want to use. This is running and driving car right now. I did shorten the coil springs to get it lower to the ground. I put brand new coils in the back out of a different car. It was like 68 and over or whatever. I got them, they're GM springs in the back to get me the height that I need in the back. And I got Ford probe doors welded in. I don't know if you can see the doors, but these are Ford probe doors. And I do have the scissor door kit put in. So the doors are like this. The interior is a mess, although I do have racing seats. They're covered in plastic and cardboard and all the charge air cooling. I got some carbon fiber left over in there. But I like these Ford Pro door handles because those kind of match the look. And we'll have to do more adjustments on that as we go, but it is what it is. Thanks, Dan. This is kind of my silly side project. And said well, we're at 1 hour and 11 minutes. We're welding all the parts for the hood to line up. Now, the hood right now, this is a little high. I think, you guys don't mind me banging on this? I'm going to try using my mini, actually I got a sledgehammer over there. I'm going to try adjusting the hood. If it's not available. I'm going to try adjusting the hood. This is kind of the Italian tune-up for body lines. And if you ever seen a hood adjustment on a Lambo like this, other than whistling diesel, actually I like that a lot. That actually came right, I may have gone a little too far, but this body line it's a little low on the hood side, but when you prop that corner up, it should be pretty close. Maybe this is good right here. We may have to adjust it some more, but you know, the Italian tune-up for adjusting a hood on a do-it-yourself Lambo. I got 35 likes. Thank you for the likes. Those are free. Double tap on the screen. Put comments, where you're from, where you're watching from. What kind of car is your favorite car? Love to hear about your projects. We've been building the channel views and subscribers here. We're at 7,100 subscribers, working on 7,200. I'd like to get over 10,000 subscribers because that's where some kind of magic happens. You start getting some other offers. I don't know what sponsorship we could get, but love to get a sponsorship so that, you know, it would pay for this build. Although we don't have a whole lot of money in it. So it is what it is, but we're kind of, you know, I think kind of at a good spot. I see where the hood may walk a little bit, so we'll have to come up with a shimming series to, like, you know, keep the hood in line so it doesn't tear up the new paint when it gets painted. But I have an idea for that too. It's a bad idea, but it's still an idea. So, and I woke up with a headache this morning. This weather changing all the time is not good. Plus, burning paint fumes, as somebody suggested, probably isn't good for me. Once I find my grinder, I can start grinding the edge where I just welded. And then we got to make another piece in here. I don't know if we'll get to that today, but we got to go from here to here along the same path to match everything. And we'll be in good shape. I think I got some sheet metal over there that I can cut out to make that happen. So we can use up some of the scraps, which is fine for this kind of stuff. And once I find out where I found my grinder and my goggles, get my grinder and goggles, then we can start grinding that a little bit. We'll grind where we just welded. See if I can get, I don't know if I'll be able to grind towards you. When I grind in here, people like seeing sparks. It's like 4th of July fireworks, you know? People like that, so. But we'll do it like this. actually ain't too bad right there. We'll keep moving down here. I'll pop that hood, I'll start working that edge. We got 28 people watching. That's amazing to me. 38 likes, would you believe that? That helps out a lot. Can we get to 50? We get to 50 likes, I'll cut it off for the day, and maybe we'll come back later. So Danny Boy's still here. Lisa's got style, oh my goodness. She is an OG YouTuber. I teased that I was going to take her words and turn them into lyrics with that Dream Track AI, and we did that yesterday, and hopefully she thought it was funny. I've done that to a few of my fellow YouTubers that, you know, I thought would appreciate it, including Faye Hadley. She thought it was funny. She's like, what the heck is this? Before there was a tab where you can just turn your words or somebody's words, when you slice it, into a song, and it comes with an AI song. Lisa, I wish I had the way to type in my phone. If Mexican Spec or somebody was here, I haven't put a link to your channel there. Lisa's got style. I got Lambo style. Now, granted, it's pretty rough right now. Pretty rough, you know, but we're making a hood work. We finally got the hood latch to work. And yeah, we're working hard on a Saturday. It's my day off. It's been a rough week, I'll tell you. Rough week at work. It's just the way it goes, right? So 42 likes. We're 8 away from 50. When I get to 50, maybe we'll call it. I had 3,900 watch the live stream 2 days ago. We haven't had those numbers yesterday or the day before. I'm sorry, it was 3 nights ago. But it is what it is. I figure I'd come out here every day, do a little bit, and show you what I'm doing. So you can, anyone that's new to the channel can subscribe and follow along. We have been building our subscriber count quite a bit. We're at 7,100 and change, working on 7,200. I'd like to get to 10K. 10K is where all the magic happens. That's when you start getting all the offers. Lisa's beating me right now, and she's been doing this for a fraction of the time I have. So Lisa's at 70-some hundred subscribers, so she's doing good. I appreciate that, Lisa. I appreciate that. We've had quite a few people from around the world. As Lisa, you get that. I love communicating with people from around the world. I had Ukraine, Brazil, a bunch of states all across the country. Lisa's in Canada, our friends to the north, and I didn't get anyone from Mexico. Mexican Spec isn't here today. He's one of my mods, and he joined us the other night, and when he was here, that was when we had the big night. So we're going to keep going on this to get, hopefully, when I get this edge of the hood done, and then the lip underneath on the fender, because once we get that done, we got to rough in the bodywork all around the headlight. The headlight is made out of hand-laid carbon fiber. I bought brand new projector lights to put in there. I got LED accent lighting and turn signals. And once that's all the bodywork is finalized, then I got the polycarbonate lenses. I got the polycarbonate lens material to put over the lights, and that will finalize them like, you know, OEM. The marker light turn signals, although you can't probably see it with the chat, those are out of a Mazda MX-5. Well, they're brand new, but that's what they were allegedly designed to fit. So as we go through, I'll start grinding. I'll pop the hood, I'll start grinding some of the rough welds. Just got to get them low enough so that we can put the body filler, but I'm looking for the term heavyweight body filler with the reinforcement in, and then we can start smoothing that out. Oh, so your dad's a body guy? Nice. Well, don't let your dad watch this. He will cringe, Lisa. My buddy who has got 40 years of body experience, who taught me how to do body work. Granted, he taught me the right way, but how I do it may not be exactly the way he taught me, so bear with me on that. For some years, you guys work hard. Yeah, the body guys work hard. I was always on the mechanical side, and now I'm in the supervision side of a different adjacent field, and just how career paths go, right? 26 years at car and truck dealerships. I got out of the car side of things just to, you know, free my mind, so to speak, because that's, hey, privyet, kajila, Harasha, where are you from? Comment down below. Somewhere, that is a native Russian speaker. I don't know if he can understand what I'm saying, but hopefully what I just said to him didn't insult him. What kind of car is this? So, this started out life as a ex-Buffalo police car, Crown Victoria, that I cut the frame rails in between the axles by, basically I cut the weld where the frame rails get welded that go over the rear frame, and then I took, I want to say it was 11 inches, I don't recall, that's in the video of me making this, and I cut the frame rails, shortened it, brought the frame back together, jigged it, and welded it back up, and it had the drive shaft shortened. And this ex-Buffalo police car, Crown Victoria, is now my version of a Lamborghini. It is not a Lamborghini, of course, but I bet you if Lisa's Got Style was standing next to this with it all painted up, dudes would think that this was a real Lambo. Of course, Lisa would draw their attention away from all the flaws in the bodywork that I do, but that just goes without saying. So, did you tell me where you're from, sir? I say you love American cars, and I would love to know where you're watching from, because that's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy, is getting to meet people from all across the world. So, oh, Lisa's ranked now. She's got the crown. We know, I was joking yesterday in Lisa's live stream that she was a princess of a Caribbean island and was exiled, you know, to give it that royalty feel. But I don't know, she had a lot of comments in her live stream, so I don't know if she got to see my joking. But anyways, I got to be very careful. Got to be very careful. My wife's car is parked next to this, so I am not allowed to touch that. She has to have a parking space in the garage. That's a deal we worked out 20 years ago when we, it's going to be 22 years ago when we got married. But when we built the house, that was the dealio. And so every once in a while we break that rule, but we won't get into that. So we got to stay away from sparks and grinders and stuff going into her car. So So my friend from Russia, or Russian speaking, hopefully I'm not offending anyone, maybe you're not from Russia or Russia speaking, but one of our friends of the channel, Lillian and Don Peppas, she has a YouTube channel. She was one of the mods for I Am Puma originally, and now she doesn't do that anymore, but she teaches Russian in California. And oh, hello, San Jose. San Jose. I've never been to San Jose. I've been to Orange County twice. Loved it there. I went there once when I won a competition with the Suzu commercial trucks, and I went there once for Land Rover Jaguar training. I got to drive on the 405 where the OJ chase took place, right in Irvine, California, on the 405, and got to drive Jaguar I-Paces and Land Rover, I forgot what Land Rovers they had us in. I did Land Rover training in Toronto. Land Rover, when the new Evoque came out, we did our Land Rover training in Toronto on a QEW. And my favorite thing about Land Rover training was they have a sign off that you're going to obey all the traffic laws and all that stuff. And the first thing they do, they get us in the line of 5 cars, they're speeding. And I'm like, wait a second, I just signed a thing and we're doing over the speed limit, and hey, keep up everyone. I'm like, this is fabulous. So anyways, that was some fun stuff. But if you don't know, Buffalo and Canada are like, Buffalo is a border town to Canada, and Ontario is literally, where my finger is pointing is literally 20 minutes that way. probably 15 miles as the crow flies. So, and what is that in kilometers, Lisa? Do the math. I don't know. 23 kilometers that way. I don't really know. Some of our friends from Toronto. Toronto is directly behind the camera, 65 miles as the crow flies. So I got an over-the-air TV antenna that picks up all the stations off the CN Tower, in Toronto, and at any rate, that's how close we are to Toronto. So we got 44 likes. Let's see if we go. We only got 6 more likes to get to 50. I would like to get to 50 today and get this hood edge finalized. I feel like we're accomplishing something then. So that's that. So now I'm going to put my goggles back on now that they're all steamed up, and I'm going to grab that grinder that's behind me, and I got a question for Lisa if you're still here. How many rebuilt wrecks did your dad build for you as a kid? I'm just wondering. It's usually the body. I buy the mechanical breakdowns and fix them up for my kids' cars, and the body guys always buy the wrecks and fix them up for their kids, typically. What is engine displacement? Is 4.6 liter V8. 4.6 liter V8 under the hood. I'll pop the hood real quick if you're still hanging out with us. What part of the world are you from, sir? It's an ex-Buffalo police car. So this was a police car that the gentleman was selling. I think he was turning it into a demo derby car, and I saved it from becoming scrap. Well, that's debatable if you think it's still scrap, but that's how it started its life. And I got a brand new working hood latch. The first time the hood is latched since I debodied it as a police car. So, if see if I can prop this up a little bit. There, it's a snap-on body hammer. Oh, it's a Blue Point body hammer hood prop now. So, underneath here is a 4.6 liter V8 police interceptor engine. Sounds fancier than it is. It's just a modular V8. Ford's modular V8. This is a 2005 retired Buffalo police car. So now, do some more grinding. Although I don't know if you can see how foggy my glasses are, but I can't really see much out of them, so. Well now, I think that's enough grinding for right now. So I woke up with a headache this morning because this weather changing back and forth. Oh, Dad has a 77 Camaro that he had in great shape. That was his baby. I learned to drive. Was it a manual transmission, Lisa? 77. My buddy's all into those years. F-bodies from that late 70s. I've never had an F-body in the late 70s. I had a next gen. I had a Formula Firebird and a Camaro RS. But I don't know if you caught my question, Lisa. Did your dad ever build you a wreck? Like buy a car cheap that's late model that's been wrecked and then fix it for you so you could drive it? That's typically what the body guys do. I've done that with mechanically totaled cars for my kids. So my daughter's got a Volvo. My son's got a Volvo too. But my daughter's first car, she's still driving at college, is a car that she bought for $500. Somebody I know had it. I worked on it for him before, and he's like, hey, you want to buy my car? I said, what's wrong with it? What does it need? Check engine light, and it needs front springs. So I asked my daughter, do you want your first car? You want to buy a car? And she said, what is it? And I told her, and anyways, my buddy dropped it off, and she's like, yeah, I'll take it. So I said, well, you got to help me fix it. And she bought it herself with her own money, working, and we put new front struts in it and fixed the check engine light, and she's been driving it for almost 2 years now. So not bad for 500 beans, you know what I mean? It was $130 to fix it. We're at 47 likes. I need 3 more. Do you think we can get 3 more likes? You just tap the screen twice. It helps out. It does something with the thingy that YouTube likes. So I appreciate you doing that too. So we get to 50. I'm going to take a break. We're at 48. We need 2 more. 2 more to go. And Lisa, I'm sure, I can't believe that you haven't been invited to YouTube's community thing. YouTube invited me out. It's got to be just over a year ago. They started sending me stuff saying, hey, do you want to get involved? Because when vertical live streaming first started, I want to say it was late 23, 20 or 24. They started doing vertical live streams, and YouTube was promoting it, and I did my first live stream, started doing vertical live streams, and they sent me the invite, and then I got in their little club. So now I'm in the YouTube creator community and on Discord and all that stuff. Once you kind of get in on that, it helps out. Do lots of special invites, only certain people. Yeah, but if they send you anything, Lisa, whatever it is, jump in on it, because I think your channel has the potential to hit 100,000 subscribers in no time. I really think that you have the potential for that. You've already done a lot more than I have in a shorter time, for obvious reasons, right? Not a lot of people, and younger people don't really like cars, but they do like fashion. And I don't know, I think the younger generation probably would appreciate your stuff more. But the car content, what is your favorite car? My favorite car is the Lamborghini. That's my favorite car. How about you, sir? Assuming it's... Sir? There are a lot of car lovers, but it's a dying breed. I tell you what, Lisa, years ago, I remember as a kid in the 80s, people would spend $50,000 to rebuild a Ford Model T. And I've never driven a Model T, but I know that they are not exactly user-friendly in terms of driving. They drive like a tractor, quite literally, because the throttle is on a lever. That being said, fast forward to today, you can find a fully restored Model T that maybe it doesn't run, it hasn't run in years, you got to just get it running, for about $5,000. Nobody wants them. The younger generation, they want nothing to do with these classic cars, old cars. Just the way it is, unfortunately. My son's got a giant toolbox over there. He never uses it. Just the way that it is. So I use his tools, I think, more than he does, unfortunately. But he just graduated a couple years ago from high school, started doing college, and then he got hired full-time as a machinist where my wife works, and he likes that, and he's sticking with it, so guess we can't complain, right? That's all we can hope for. So, Lisa, if you're still here, if you had a choice of a classic car, or your favorite car, what would it be? What would be your car to get? We got 50 likes. Look at that. We're at the 50 like mark. I appreciate that. We're an hour and 39 minutes in. So I think I'm going to wrap it for now. I'm going to go inside, eat breakfast, have some more coffee because I love coffee, and we'll get back to working on this later. This is actually channels like Lisa's has inspired me to do this live streaming while I'm working on the car, because the content that I've been successful with the short videos, I still do them, but with the weather being crappy, I haven't really been a whole lot out, and just work. Oh, well, hopefully your workout's going good. I definitely need more coffee, and maybe Lisa will be out live streaming. Lisa, if you, well, you may not be able to type, but if you want to type your channel name, it's at Lisa's Got Style. If I was a smart YouTuber, I'd be able to, get on your channel and post a link so everyone could like and subscribe to your channel, and that would help. But American V8s are fairy tale. In what regard, sir? American V8s are, I think, the foundation of what I started working on as a kid, and they are workhorses. They have good longevity if you take care of them. Small block Chevy was the standard when I was a kid. That was the first engine I ever built, and I never really got too much into Fords, but I've worked on plenty of Fords too. Then I got into Dodge, Chrysler, just doing lives. There are always lots of people. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. That it is amazing that sometimes I flip through the vertical lives, just flipping through, and what YouTube puts in front of me is interesting for a number of reasons. And there's some random things, some car-related things, some people just doing the most, like people eating. Like I'm watching somebody eat. I don't know. That's weird to me, but whatever. I like flipping through and seeing different parts of the world. So I apologize for my. Oh man, I got like raccoon eyes from my dirty eye goggles, so I didn't get grimy anything. GTOs are cool, no doubt. Grand Touring. I forgot what the O stands for. You know? I forgot what the O in GTO stands for. I remember the song, Little GTO. But yeah, in fact, Lisa, that's how I got to your channel. I was randomly flipping through live streams just because I was wanting to watch something that I didn't know what I wanted to watch. I wasn't looking at anything specific. The normal like big channels that I watch, I wasn't into, and I just randomly flipping through and found Lisa's Got Style, and she's got style, no doubt. Yeah, I'm old too. I'm gonna be 50 this year. I can't believe that. So I gotta keep up with the youth here. People do the stupidest things and make it. You actually are doing something great and communicating and teaching. Well, I appreciate that, Lisa. I do have YouTube Shorts, so if I come across some unique things or unique solutions to a problem, such as the Volvo content I got on there, there's some specific Volvo issues that they have with certain engines, and come up with different ways of fixing them, making them work, and I post that. I saved that old Volvo. How far away is Cleveland from you, Lisa? Cleveland, Ohio. I'm really not familiar with the city that you're in and how west it is. I thought you were a time zone behind me. Or I'm a time zone ahead of your time zone, whichever. But that would put you kind of like Ohio, Michigan, and west. And I don't know how far. Anyways, west of Cleveland, Ohio, I was trying to find, because when I worked at the Volvo dealership, they redid the dealership, and they had a poster on the wall that was of a PV 544. That is the first approved Gran Turismo. Thank you for that. The first car with 3-point seatbelt that Volvo designed and came up with, and they made that patent free to anyone who wanted to use it because they thought that it made things safer in the world. And I wanted one of those cars, and I found one, and it was past Cleveland, Ohio, and it hadn't been on the road, as best we can tell, since 1978. And my buddy Randy and I dragged it up on his trailer and trailered it home, and I got that car running again after 40 years and on the road again. I think it was 42 years that we figured it hadn't been on the road, and I got it running and driving and on the road. And I even did a couple shorts with On the Road Again by Willie Nelson, because I thought that was appropriate. Thank you, Ghana. We appreciate that answer for us old guys that can't remember. But if you've never been here before, please like and subscribe. Like I said, I'm going to go inside, drink more coffee, relax, make some breakfast, and don't worry, Lisa, it'll be something not healthy. But no, I'm going to eat some waffles, I think. I'm going to make some waffles for the family. And maybe I'll be back out later. I got to finish my short that I started filming before I started this, because I bent that piece of metal and cut it out for that rigidity, and then I did the live stream. So thanks for coming on board, Lisa. Enjoy your workout, and maybe we'll see you later on the live stream sometime this week. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.